Let's get it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Overclocked Remix, nearly 25 years of video game music arrangements. We can now rent a car.
We're getting dropped from our insurance.
And that's the last milestone before retirement.
And that's a scary milestone because they can already drink too. Anyways, who here knows what Overclocked Remix is?
Spoilers.
Good, pretty much everybody.
Does anybody not know what Overclocked Remix is?
Okay.
Put your hand. God,
Mason, come on.
He doesn't know it, but we know him.
For those of you who do not know, we are a website dedicated to the arrangement, appreciation, and dedication to showcasing video game music as an art form. We've been around since 1999, and we love it. Like, what can we say? We all love video game music, and that's why we're here today. So we have over 4,700 video game remixes available for free at ocremix.org, as well as 79 albums. Now, as of, 3 weeks ago, we have 79 albums. And it's a lovely community full of aspiring artists and with a thriving community.
Yeah. All right. Like, we'll take a moment to introduce ourselves. So we can start over here.
It kind of belatedly annoys me that we're listed alphabetically there, but we didn't actually sit alphabetically. We're just like,
How close did we get here?
Anyway, yeah, like we started okay, and then it just like all fell to pieces in the middle of the table.
Don't let that reflect on Overclocked Remix. We're much better organized.
Yeah. Anyway, hi, I'm Arrow. I've been with the site since 2014. Got my start in the video game music sphere, submitting probably just close to 1,000 MIDI files to VGMusic.com, if anybody even remembers what that site is.
That's good stuff.
Never actually like curtailed that or into actual video game music production or like remixes or anything. That's still on the bucket list. I have been actually working at that recently. Nothing that's like submittable. But working on that. Like every time I come to MAGFest, I get inspired, so it helps a lot. So we'll get like another rush of like the next month where I'll go back to work on it. But for OCR specifically, I handle merch stuff, which we don't have a slide for, but I know people are going to ask, so let me just say we're working on the merch situation. So just so you know. And also, we'll talk about this later, but we have a stream team now, and I'm one of the members of that. So okay, that is what I do for OCR. We'll talk about that on the streaming slide.
We've got a slide.
You wait.
All right. My name is Wes. I go by Emunator. I've been a listener of OC Remix since 2005, back when I was in junior high school, and that led into getting involved in the community, first as a workshop moderator, then a judge. So I've been on the judges panel for, I think, 11 years now. Somewhere during the middle of that time frame, I decided it would be kind of cool to learn how to make music, so I eventually, about halfway through my time on the site, I became a contributor. I think I have almost 40 remixes on there. At this point, I've directed the Donkey Kong Country 3 album, and just recently, as of this year, decided to go full-time as a musician. So I'll talk a little more about that, but that's started as a listener that had never touched an instrument in my life, didn't know a lick of music, and then through the community here, kind of came into my own as a musician and self-taught, community-taught, and it all kind of came together in time. So yeah, this community's been awesome for me. I'm so happy to be a part of it. Be presenting up here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Chris, also known as Hemophiliac. I am an arranger, remixer, composer. I'm the newest member of the judges panel. I also make the visualizer videos for YouTube. Since DGP has left us, I think I've done the majority of the videos now. And as well as Arrow is helping out with that a little bit as well.
I did one.
You still helped.
That still counts.
Actually, before I was a judge too, I was a workshop. What was I?
Workshop moderator?
Workshop moderator,
You
yeah.
were the workshop moderator for a while.
For a while, yeah.
He was the workshop for a while.
Yep.
And yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Hi, my name's Greg. I am also known as Gario on Overclock Remix, and I'd say that's all you need to know, but I guess I better get into some details. So I have actually been working with music for quite some time. I have a degree from University of New Mexico, and I had this great idea. I'm like, you know what? I love arranging video game remixes. I should set up a website for setting up video game remixes. And then I looked it up, and I said, oh, shit, there's already a place. So I decided instead to become a more active member of that community starting in like 2008. Just being just a little guy telling people what to do in their workshop mixes. Not saying I did very good at the time, but I got better. And eventually started working my way through the staff as a workshop evaluator in 2011 or 2012. And then they decided to make me into a judge instead in like 2016. So I've been around the site for about a good 8 years now, so as a judge. So I'm really sorry if I've rejected any of your music in the past. But I promise, so once we get through this panel, we will have a better idea of what will make me scream for joy and tell you your music should be posted instead. Also, it's a fun site. You guys should join it.
My name is Michael, a.k.a. FlexStyle, and I have been submitting stuff to OCR since 2008 or 9, something like that. I think I first got posted in 2009 or 10. I forget. It's all a blur. Started as a teenager, kind of got really involved in things like our albums and our competitions for remixing different songs and sometimes mashing them together. It was a kind of a critical part of my growth as a musician and producer. And now part of the living I earn is writing video game music. In fact, for those of you who haven't gone down to the indie game arcade yet, I have a game that I'm presenting right now that I did all the music for. So if you want to stop by and take a look at it, you're welcome to. If you don't, I love you too. It's called Touhou Danmaku Maze. So if you know the Touhou series, you'll recognize some of the tunes in there. So being an OC remixer really prepared me for this particular role, arranging themes I'd never heard before into something cohesive, plus a few original tracks as well. But other than that, I've been on again, off again, involved with being a judge since, I don't know when, 2014, something like that.
Time is meaningless.
What is time? And
Longer than I was.
and now I occasionally judge tracks and usually get called out for not doing it frequently by the rest of the judges. So I've also been the in-house official, unofficial DJ for OCR at times as well. So you may have caught me at previous MAGFests playing your favorite VGM remixes over a large stereo system at some point. So that's me.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to run you through a little video that we just put together this week, just showing a few remixes that have come up on OCR recently, just to kind of give you a taste of what we do and the kind of music you can expect to hear. So this is just going to be 5 of, like we said, 4,800 plus and growing remixes, 79 albums. Yes. We'll let it rock.
That is not the remix.
Oh no, did we put this? Oh, we didn't put the remixes in here.
Oh man.
You know, I thought we should prepare for this better.
Oh wait.
Yeah, that's the
I think it's Mario Maker. Better? Good for everybody in the back? and stereoscopic 3D.
OCR just added stereo today. We don't talk about that one.
Talk about a game series just designed to make you cry forever.
That remix was just posted this year. Come on, Hojo, show us your dance moves. Remake.
Yeah, that one's from the remake. Hey, there's the site.
All right.
Nice.
Another little detail. So those last 3 remixes were all posted this year. Funny fact about that last one that was made by Trait. He actually joined the site just a few years ago, and his first forum post was, "Hey, is this community worth joining?"
Hopefully
Yeah.
That answers the question.
Yeah, it's still worth joining. A couple years later, he's making music and posting remixes on the site. So here is the site. If you haven't seen it or it's been a while, this is what it looks like right now.
OCR Blue Supremacy.
Version 3.
Where's the sidebar?
It's in development.
Oh shit, we talking about community?
Yeah.
We should talk
Like
about community.
Family.
Like Trait said, you know, is this community worth joining? And the answer is absolutely. You know, we have an active Discord community and the forums where you can discuss VGM, other topics, you know, get feedback on your music if you're making music, and participate in competitions. And if you don't have it, that is the link for our Discord, discord.gg/OshiRemix.
But wait, we have a QR code. Love those.
It is the
Get your
future.
Please
phones
applaud.
out right now.
Wait,
See a couple people.
I've already joined. I
gonna let
keep
it-
posting in the kitchen.
If you don't get it now, it's okay. We have a slide at the very end with it as well.
If you
Like-
need more convincing, just wait.
Yeah, like many internet communities, a lot of the happenings have kind of migrated towards Discord. So if you haven't been there, you haven't been there in a while, check it out. That's where stuff's happening.
I got to check it out sometime too. Might be important.
All right.
Nice, nice.
So how does it all work?
I don't know. How does it work?
How does it?
Wait, didn't we bring someone who knows how it works?
Wait, who's that?
No.
All right.
Well, I guess we gotta read the
All right, so how does it all work? So, how it all works essentially is, sorry, I guess I'll take this over. I swear I know. How this all starts is with people listening to video game music from any genre, any piece, any time period, even Atari, if you really are into that kind of stuff. And you see if you like the music. You do an arrangement of the music and recreate it in any way that you see fit. If you like electronic music, you like trance music, you can make a trance pong.
If you like polka,
Polka, you can make polka pong.
we actually have a lot of polka remixes.
Orchestral Mario. I'm changing it up there a little bit. Once you guys decide to create the music, you can either send it straight our way to the panel, and we will do a little bit of quality control to see if it fits the standards that we have for our music, because we don't want to have thousands of songs that nobody wants to listen to. We want every song to be something that would be perfect for somebody. Or if you're not sure if the music is up to snuff, if you have some questions about it, you can take it to either one of our forums and post your music there and see if people have some comments. Or you can discuss it in Discord, and you'll have moderators there, or sometimes even judges there, to take a look and say, this is probably a better way to go. You know, you can tweak it here, increase your volume there, junk the track. No, we would never say that. Shush. Those are our secrets.
And so, like it says here on the slide, you know, if you submit your track to OCR and it passes the judging panel, the song will be featured on the front page of the site, as well as the YouTube channel with a fancy little visualizer.
That's what he does.
Before one thing I do think is worth noting, though, is that we do have an evaluation process, but that's measuring more arrangement quality and interpretation. It's not measuring what genre it is. There's no specific there's no specific genre requirements, and
Any
that's I think one of
genre-
the unique things about OCR that you don't necessarily get in a lot of other communities that are maybe more tailored towards either they're tailored towards specific genres or something that's more marketable. This is kind of a great place for any random idea you have, and you know we have a lot of a lot of remixes in popular genres, but we also have stuff that maybe takes a more academic slant where it's a little more interpretive, maybe not the most marketable thing, but the nice thing is that if you submit, there will always be an audience for your stuff. And I think that's one of the unique things about it that I think keeps it going.
Yeah, we absolutely have I don't think it's 12 tone, but it is atonal. We have a couple of atonal pieces there that we get the real nerds to pull out the microscope on to see what's going on. Got to make sure you play all 12 tones before you loop back around, okay? And we also have a drum-only song, so I guess that's technically atonal too. And we also have folksy music. We also have music that sounds like other bands. I'm not going to express which song I'm talking about, but if you know, you know. No, we got some great stuff, and there's great variety on there as well. And so anything you want to put on there, we will take a listen to, and we will give it the fair shot it deserves.
Contrary to popular opinion, it's mostly not oons music anymore. As a resident oons maker, I wish there was more.
We even have a chiptune song
Every
on
day
there.
we stray
Contrary to
further away
common
from the
belief.
light.
Yeah, we do chiptunes as well. Give it
So-
a shot.
How does the submission process work?
don't know.
Recently, it's actually been updated. You used to have to submit via an email, but now
No more email. It's 2024. We have a form.
Do not send us emails. You can send us cookies or donuts, but not emails. Remixes work too, but just not through email.
Unless it's a hate email, those are very funny to receive.
Because then you can just delete them afterwards. Like how you thought.
You think we delete those emails? Those are funny.
We posted
Anyway.
on forums.
Anywho, but yeah, we modernize the process. We actually have a form now. It's 2024. We got with the times.
Finally.
So the cool thing about that form is that it also allows for you to track stuff in real time. So you don't just you don't just submit your songs to this nebulous email void that then sits for 6 to 12 to 18 to some number.
30 minutes to-
We're not copying to that. We're not admitting to more than 24 months. But in all seriousness, though, things have sped up quite a bit due to a lot of concerted effort, some modernization on the technology that we have. Things are going a lot faster. So now when you submit a track, we are completely caught up on submissions to the point where when you submit a song, it's going to hit the judges panel within usually about 2 to 3 days, maybe a week. if we're feeling a little bit lazy, but and then the judging process itself goes much faster now. I think on average we're shooting for about 1 to 2 months to go through the full evaluation process. We've had a couple of submissions that it will get submitted, hit the panel, get evaluated within 24 hours, and have a result back. So we're really proud of the work that's gone into that. We've worked really hard to get that caught up. So we can talk a little bit more about what kind of qualities we are looking for in a remix and what makes something.
You want to talk or shall I? Sure. Oh, yeah, I'll let you talk about this one.
Sure, why not? A lot of people accuse judges of having acute bias or not being able to appreciate their genre, which is sometimes true, Larry. But what we're really looking for is we want something creative. We don't want it to sound just like what the game sounds like. The game already sounds like that, and we want you to sound like a fresh spin on it. We need some good production quality. It's one thing to play your guitar and shred it to pieces. It's another thing for that to sound like just radio static on a tin can speaker. Not so great. And also performance quality. Again, if you're going to be playing your instruments, if you're going to be playing or providing some kind of sequenced thing, it needs to be kind of above grade school level. But it doesn't have to be like highly professional, but it does need to pay attention to timing and intonation and things like that. If your guitar's out of tune, we'll notice and we'll send it back. But really, it's do what you can to produce something that is as good as you can make it. And if it doesn't hit the standard that we have, that's why we have our workshop. That's why we have, even the judges panel will often give you some very actionable feedback. But so it doesn't have to be radio ready. It does have to be at least somewhat of a polished product.
I'll add a little bit to that. We probably won't call it infantile if you hear it. I promise we're actually very kind about what we do.
We're so much nicer than we used
We're
to
actually,
be.
God, we used to be so mean. No, we grew up. But another point that we should actually point out is not only does the arrangement has to be recognizable as the game music, it does have to be creative, but if we can't recognize what it is, you can't recognize what it is, and it would be very silly if we started posting original music on there. How dare we? So, there's a lot of things where people are like, this has been inspired by. Actually, do the music. We would appreciate that. We enjoy video game music as much as anyone, maybe even more. No.
Yeah. And if you choose to submit something that combines several different things at once, we may kvetch about it privately, but we will judge it as best as we can.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you have like things that are blending themes, those are actually amazing.
The whole judging process can seem intimidating, especially for somebody who's just starting out. But honestly, it's one of the biggest values of the site, and I truly believe that this is the only place that you can get this level of feedback, either from people that ostensibly know what we're doing, hopefully, or from your community members that can help you level up and actually get good at what you're doing. So for people that want to improve their skills as musicians, like the amount of free quality feedback that you get is unmatched.
And so, how much do we charge for this service?
That's a great question.
Free 99.
Presenting Overclocked Remix Plus.
It's a subscription service.
We haven't implemented it yet. Don't worry.
Don't worry, everybody. It's going on OnlyFans.
Hold on. I gotta get ready. Okay.
So we talked a little bit about this, but just to iterate, the judging process is moving much faster now. We also made some changes to the panel so that you now only need 3 yeses to get a pass. So we brought that threshold down.
Difference
Yes.
of 3 votes.
Yeah, so it's not like a 3 yes, 3 no will pass, but if it's 3 yeses and 0 no's, move on
good to
through.
go.
If it's 4 yeses and 1 no, move on through.
For anybody who's not aware, this used to be a 4-yes process. So we wanted to help streamline the process so that more people can be listening to more music faster.
Yeah.
And it has worked so far.
And so that the feedback that you get is relevant. You know, if you submit a song
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it takes 6 to 12 months of feedback, you've already probably leveled up independently on your own in that time. So everything we're doing is really just in service of speeding it up, getting you feedback faster, getting stuff on the site faster, so it's relevant.
Show of hands. Who here likes to produce, arrange, compose music? Anybody?
Woo!
Yeah, all
Got some
right.
good ones.
So, who wants to take their knowledge to the next step, maybe?
Yeah, you do.
All right.
All right. So we've already talked a little bit about this. We've alluded to it. The workshop. This is an area of the site that I think has changed the most over the last year or two. We've really kind of brought that into the modern age, and we've added a couple of structural changes that really, I think, add a lot of value there. We've added a group called I'm calling it the Chamber of Sages, and they're basically a group of people that are kind of the intermediaries between artists and community and the judges panel that are they're generally experts in their field in like specific areas of music production that are there not to judge your stuff, but to really like help artists bring their stuff up to the level it needs to be to submit. So if the judging process seems daunting, the workshop's there for that.
Yeah, you can go talk to the sages or post on the work in progress forums and get some feedback there. Or we have other things happening.
Yeah, there's a couple of structured events that I think are really awesome. Again, going back to things that you can't really get at this level in any other community. We've talked about the critiquing and peer mentorship, but we actually have weekly office hours going on where either the sages or frequently judges as well will hop into Discord on voice, and you can bring your works in progress of any level of skill, production knowledge. You can bring your works in progress there and say, hey, I'm having a hard time getting a read on the production on this. I feel like I'm struggling. What can I do? And we'll sit down and workshop it pretty in depth. Depending on how many people show up to that, we can spend as much time as needed to get the song there. And you can also bring even non-VGM remixes as well. If you look, it's really just it's a place to learn and share, and it's a really positive environment. The people that we have on the Sages panel are just awesome.
They're insanely good.
they're-
I'm not
they're-
just saying that. Like these are folks who really, really know their stuff in some very specific areas, both in instrumentation and in production. And so it's a resource that I wish more people took advantage of because it is really, really valuable.
Yeah, it is truly the kind of thing. Normally, you have to pay people for this kind of mentorship. So we want people to take advantage of that because we know that having a pipeline from somebody who's just starting out to getting to a post remixer level is important. I mean, that was something that I personally went through where when I started off, I didn't know anything about music, and I kind of learned it through osmosis and just by being around all these folks that were generous enough to share their time and like through sheer force of will, basically brute force my way into becoming a musician.
And one thing I'd like to add up to that is it's constructive. Nobody likes to be torn down and told like, oh, this isn't good or whatever. They're constructive. We're all as constructive as we possibly can be and trying to give as much actionable feedback as possible. That's a really big, important factor for me. So I just wanted to emphasize that.
Yeah, so all this stuff is happening in our Discord channels. We'll have events that you can set reminders for too, so you can hop on and say workshop hours are coming up, or we have curated seminars too. So for example, they put together like sessions on how to program drums or how to get good guitar tones. So if you want more focused learning, and again, it's all interactive, so you're in there with them. It's not just being talked at.
Or another option, how about a competition?
Ooh. Oh, this is the good stuff.
Deadlines, that can put some pressure into, make some gold or sorry, pressure makes diamonds, right?
Yes.
They have a short time frame. You learn a lot. You can get feedback at the end of the competition. Some recent competitions we've had were Game Set Mash. That's actually something that Eminator and myself participated in. Lots of fun. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I can. So the main one we have going right now is called Game Set Mash, and so it's a team-based competition run by our fearless leader Dark Sword, where we divide into teams of 2, and each team is assigned a series of games. So in the past, we've done Final Fantasy SNES versus PSX era games. That was the first one we competed on. Yep. We were on the same team, so we were assigned the PSX Final Fantasy games, and so each round we picked 3 sources from each of our games. So Final Fantasy, 7, 8, and 9. Yeah. And then the opposing team does the same thing with 4, 5, and 6, and then they're randomly mashed up together where you are assigned. So now we have to mash up like Final Fantasy 6 versus Final Fantasy 9. And so when I say mash up, it's it's an OC Remix style arrangement. It's not like literally taking the sources and mashing them up like DJ style or anything like that. These are all arrangements that are made to, go on the site. It meets.
Yeah. I would highly recommend taking a listen to a couple of songs that are already on the Overclock Remix site that are multiple sources. You'll hear that people don't just play one song and play another. They oftentimes link together like the bass lines of one song, melodies of another, and actually create something almost completely new out of it. You can get some really interesting things. You can really stretch the definition of original music versus arrangements on here if you're really clever. So,
Yeah, that would
be
go hard. Actually.
Yeah.
all right. Which track is that?
Wait, which?
Hold on.
It was Kukla versus Kesta.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
that was
We're
the
getting
case.
schooled up
Talk
here.
to me afterward. I want to
Shut it
hear
down.
it.
Shut it down.
I haven't heard of that one yet.
Yeah, we did the Final Fantasy one. We did Metroid versus Castlevania. So Metroidvanias, obviously. The next one we have coming up is going to be.
I get it.
If you want to sign up for something like this, if this sounds fun to you, we have a third one coming up in the near future. Basically mashing up the music of Yuzo Koshiro from Atrian Odyssey and Streets of Rage. And so
What's Streets of Rage?
you pick a team that you want to be on. And the cool thing is, like, you don't have to be of a prerequisite skill level to do any of the workshop or competition stuff. I mean, we've had teams made up of people that are doing music full time or people that have been doing music for 20, 30 years, with people who this is the first time they've ever collaborated with anybody on anything. And so it kind of a rising tide raises all ships sort of scenario. Like, this is the biggest level up that I got ever, was just joining this competition and just committing to it full sell, and it was a blast.
Yeah, nor do you have to actually know the game's music. I'm infamous on our panel for like never having played any of the games that I've ever even remixed. Not even Sonic or Mario. I've just outed myself really badly. But if you can appreciate the music,
Read the room.
then let's see, Doom, Quake. I know those games. But you don't have to know the soundtracks. You don't have to know the games. Just get in there, learn the music itself, and for me, that's been a ridiculously valuable tool in my growth as a musician and producer, to have to just arrange it and worry about the gameplay later. It may not have the same like emotional, like nostalgic tugs to me that it might have for some of you who have played those games, but if I can then find some connection with somebody else who has played it and then I've fallen in love with the song as I've been arranging it, then hopefully that creates a really good product at the end.
All right, so what else is new?
Ooh, let's take a look.
All right, so recently we had a new initiative. It was actually his fault.
That is my Gario Mario.
Yep.
You know what? You can see why I'm to blame.
Don't call
For
him
the
Gario.
release of the
Don't.
Super Mario Brothers movie, we had a month-long. Our posts were all Mario related, so they were in the Mario series or related to it, like Donkey Kong. We might do some other stuff like that in the near future, maybe. We haven't decided yet, but that's an idea.
It's a fast track scenario. So in this case, we put out a call for Mario remixes, and then if you submitted it, then you jumped right to the front of the queue, and we would get your stuff posted like right away.
Hey, we're taking pitches. You guys got any ideas?
But yeah, beyond that, we've got a couple of albums that have come out recently we want to show off our trailers for, if you haven't seen them or downloaded the album. The next two that you're going to see are both available to download now. The albums are released, and they are...
They're 100% free. Did anybody say free 99?
More like free 99.
That's what I said.
I didn't.
Mock Rider. So that is available now. That album actually just came out at the end of August, and I wanted to give you guys a shout out on this as well. So Nintendo Force magazine actually approached us and actually asked us to do this album. Who remembers Nintendo Power? Yeah? When that ended, some of the people who were at Nintendo Power went off and made Nintendo Force magazine, and this was actually their first book, and it's about the life of Satoru Iwata, and they asked us to do a album to go along with the book, and those 16 chapters, as you saw there, they each one have a corresponding remix to go along with their chapter, and I'm so proud of this album. Like, he's on it, I'm on it, and it turned out so fantastic, and you guys should go check it out.
There you go.
And then next, we have
Quisiera compartir lágrimas y dolor. Quisiera compartir felicidad y amor.
It's actually 80 tracks. They made a bonus disc after the trailer was made. They were insane.
Oh god.
It is. I mean, Final Fantasy VIII, 80 tracks? I mean...
Fantastic. Oh, son of a gun. Woo! Hey, you got a question?
But it's already out, right?
No,
Not yet.
No. No.
Yeah, FF8 is.
FF8 is already out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the first
FF8
two-
is out.
These next two are upcoming,
Yeah, these are upcoming.
allegedly.
So this one was. All right. So directed by. Never mind. I will get to this
got this.
eventually. Directed by myself and actually Wes is in the audience right here. He actually started the album a little while ago, and I took it over just a little while ago. Yeah. So yeah, at this point, that's fine. But all due respect. So, if anybody familiar with the video game series of Lufia? All right.
Nice.
So we primarily took music from the Lufia 2 series, and we rearranged it. There's a lot of variety in genre. There's electronic music, there's orchestral music, rock music. In fact, if you listen to the Tiberian Sons yesterday, they're actually the lead guitarist actually performed one of the songs for this album a little while ago. So I did a little bit of music from there, obviously. I mean, I hope that's obvious.
Coming
Yeah,
soon.
really, I'm actually pretty excited about this one.
And then
So, yeah, look forward to it. It's a pretty good album. It will be coming out probably beginning of next year. But yeah, no, this one is coming out. It is finished.
There's a reason for that, and you'll see why in
Yep.
this next slide.
Yeah, I ended up getting booted for this. We've actually been around that long.
Yeah.
Not even
again, they're ready to rent cars and pick up people. Anyways, so coming up later this year, a fan of the site has started an album to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Overclocked ReMix, which is coming up in December, and they're calling it Time Shift. And I guess you could say the gimmick with this album is if you were born before the site's inception, so 1999, you would arrange a game that was made after 1999, and if vice versa, if you were born after 1999, you would arrange something from before 1999. And so they are working on an album right now with that concept, and we're looking forward to that one. It's coming together nicely.
Also, I just want to say it's wild that there are people that are arranging for this site that were born after the site
That
came into existence.
Yeah, that last one that you guys just heard there, in that little slide, was actually made by somebody who was younger from the site, and he made it all with LSDJ on 2 Game Boys. He didn't use DAWs.
Wow.
And it's pretty darn good. I
Yeah.
listened to it personally.
Is that chiptune?
What does that mean?
Okay, so we do have a stream team with OCR now as part of like the lots of things that we're doing differently with the site. We put this group together a couple of months ago. We've had a lot of discussions about what we want to do because there's like a lot of options here. We're starting slow, building processes up, putting stuff together, putting up we need to make like a standard deck for OBS at some point. Right now we're only doing a few things, and by a few things I mean one. Twitch listening parties, basically. So for a lot of the game set match competitions we were talking about, each week when a group of remixes got finished, we would actually go on Twitch live and play all the songs together, and everybody who was involved or everybody who just wants to listen to what came out of the competition that week could just go on Twitch and listen to the entire set of tracks over a period of like 1-2 hours as we stream them. So we'd like to continue doing that because that was a lot of fun, and it's certainly a lot more convenient than sometimes you don't actually want to download all the music yourself. You just want to like listen to it really quickly. You're kind of weird. I'm just gonna outright say it. You should get this music, but sometimes just lack of time. You might want to just download it later, so you can just hop on Twitch and listen along with us.
Yeah, we just did a listening party for the Impact of Iwata, and we actually had the authors of the book on the stream with us, and we asked them questions
nice.
and interviewed. So.
Yeah, so we'll keep doing these. They've been a lot of fun. We've been discussing ideas for like actual shows that we can do. Judges panel no show is an idea that we've been talking about that might come into reality. We'll see. the big thing that we're kind of working on that I'm spearheading right now is a 24/7 YouTube radio channel. This is something we should have had like ages ago. So you can just like put on Game Chops and just listen like all day long if you wanted to. Like we need something like that. We do have the radio station. People listen to that all the time. But it might be easier for a lot of people to just throw up a YouTube channel and really just go to it. So I'm working on that. Hope to have that done by the end of the year. Testing out the software we're going to be using for it right now. So that is in progress. And basically we like have a streaming setup now, which is hilarious because we've had the twitch.tv/OC Remix channel for how many years?
Oh, wow.
We're just literally doing nothing with it. So finally we're just doing stuff with it. It's pretty great. So hopefully you'll see some new stuff soon.
Yeah.
I saw a quick question from the audience out there. Was there something? You good? Cool.
Well, we'll have an opportunity for questions in just a minute, or just a little bit.
All right, that brings us to the last aspect of this presentation.
Who wants to play a game?
Yay.
Prizes available?
We have some prizes. We have a couple of albums.
It's important, trust me.
We have 7 albums here. Physicals of all these. We are only going to have, 5
Yes.
tracks in this
5
game
questions
tune?
here.
So if you win one of these, you can just come up and pick one. So try and win the first one, because you'll get first choice.
All right, so the way this is going to work, who knows Name That Tune? So it's going to be kind of similar to that. We are going to play a remix from Overclocked Remix, and what you're going to do is you're going to name the game that the source is from. What we're going to do, we're going to play it, and what we want you to do is we want you to raise your hand. Arrow down here is going to see who is first, and we're going to let the audio play out. Each one's only 30 seconds, but he's going to let you know if you were first, and if you're first, come up and give us your guess. You ready?
Yeah.
You excited?
Yeah.
All right. What game is this remix from? Wait till it finishes playing before you give your answer, but come up. We're being efficient with our time. What's your guess?
Super Mario Galaxy,
Yes.
Gusty Garden Galaxy.
Congratulations.
Yes.
All right. We have
Very good.
a lot of albums you can pick here. We have a bunch of fighting game tournament albums that we did. The albums,
Number 2.
whichever one you want.
What game?
We got our day ones in the audience.
Please to the microphone.
For the mic to say your guess.
I don't know what that is. Could you explain?
Go ahead.
Donkey Kong Country Aquatic Ambience.
Yes.
Right, you are.
Congratulations.
All right. Here's your options. We have
Crazy thing about that remix is now 20 years old.
tournaments. We did an album.
Kong Concert just had its 20th anniversary a few weeks ago.
We've always put out some pretty good stuff.
Number
All right.
3. Go for it.
All right, this feels like a trick one. Do you want me to pick one game in particular in the series, or?
Correct.
Oh shoot. All
Perhaps,
right. Well, I'm
perhaps the
just-
first one it was featured in.
Oh,
If he next,
first
if he
one.
misses.
Okay. I always default to Ocarina of Time for that one. I'm not sure though.
Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Correct.
You are.
Congratulations.
So
All right.
that's not actually the first game it's from.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Well, that's what
it
this
was in
remix
Link's
is from.
Link to the Past first. But like we would accept both answers because the remix was from that game. So officially.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So you're good.
All right.
Number 4.
You got to take half an hour for that.
We did albums for fighting game tournaments. So each of these tournaments, like we had one remix for every game.
Guitar.
Bonus CD if you can play along to it as it's going on. Just kidding. I can't.
See if you don't cry here.
If he doesn't get it, next.
Oh yeah, you were going with me there.
What game was that?
Okay.
Undertale.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Correct.
I mean,
Wait.
okay.
You told me to do that. wait. Put it up.
Well, he was
for me.
clearly like
He was playing this music. He
All right.
just
Last one.
Final.
I think you were first. Yeah.
What? How is there a clue?
Well, as long as everyone else caught it, we're good.
what game?
That is Final Fantasy VII.
Yes.
Congratulations.
That
Final
is
question.
correct.
Right.
The remainders.
That's not how it was intended.
Yeah, but nobody likes Tifa's music. Don't worry about it. Most people will miss that.
So, now it is time for questions. If you have questions, please come up to the microphone so we all can hear you, and then the people on the stream would also be able to hear.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for the panel. It's been very interesting. 2 questions. First is, do your contributors ever dabble in experimental audio, either like surround or Dolby Atmos? And the second one is kind of like under what licensing terms are these songs offered?
Well, the first one I can answer pretty quickly. There are some very strange arrangements out there right now. There's actually an arrangement from a Maze dude from about 15 years ago. It was a Mega Man 2 remix where he took the reverb and static from putting 2 mics, mic too close to the speaker to make the music, and then cut that up into a song of Mega Man 2. And for the second point, I believe we're Creative Commons or.
Yeah, I think it's kind of an attribution kind of deal.
Yeah.
If you are going to use these remixes in some kind of non-commercial thing, or if you want to use it on your YouTube channel, kind of go right ahead, just credit Overclock Remix in the credits somewhere. And then I think more on the technical side of thing, what you're saying, like Atmos or surround sound, we're mostly just publishing stereo MP3s and we're publishing them to our YouTube channel. So as of right now, I don't think we're doing anything multi-channel past just stereo mixes, but it'd be kind of cool if we got one, because we've never gotten one before, as far as I know. I'm not sure quite exactly how we publish that, but that'd be super sick.
The Oregon one, I think. So actually,
Oh, yeah,
we did have a
Woody.
song posted recently. A couple of them actually from an artist that does organ improvs, and I believe he actually recorded it at 7.1 surround or
Yeah.
something even greater than that. So that's obviously the song wasn't posted to the site that way, but if you go to
He
the
had that
write-up,
available.
He has videos with like the super high quality surround sound mix.
So one thing. Sorry, go ahead.
Were you asking about like what we offer in terms of licensing, or were you?
Specifically, like if you like live streaming and for
Okay.
music
That's-
reuse, but if is it commercial or non-commercial only? Or
So I don't exactly know the exact licensing specifics, but I do know that people frequently use this for like streaming music or streaming situations where like I've seen it used at GDQ pretty frequently.
Yeah.
Games Done Quick, if anybody watches that.
GDQ uses a lot of our stuff. Zeldathon uses a lot of our stuff.
Yep.
So the thing about
Smash Brothers tournaments occasionally.
I don't think we don't say you can do commercial specifically, because the thing about this is all the mixes sent to the site are owned by the original arrangers. Like
Right.
we don't own this music. These people, everybody like creates, arranges tracks. They submit it to us so that we can like help promote it. But like you own that stuff. We don't. So anybody coming to the site, they have to use it from the point of view that we're offering this for free. You really shouldn't be using it for anything other than free unless you contact the original maker, the original arranger of the track, and get their permission.
Which
Now-
I was thinking more of like a competitor to like Pretzel or something like that, where you can, and you can have attribution in the chat.
Yeah.
Automatically. But obviously, you want to read every individual.
So
Yeah, exactly.
And we have kind of a more detailed, like the ins and outs of content permissions on the website. So there's just ocremix.org. There's an FAQ page under our About tab there, and that goes into much greater detail there. Any other
more
questions?
questions?
Come on up.
Do it.
But I got a nice simple one.
Okay.
What is your favorite Overclocked remix song?
Let's go right, left to right.
Okay, so I'm very biased here because I'm a big fan of the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV Online.
Solid. Great game.
So our site leader, Darksword, released a remix a couple of months ago from Stormblood, which is interesting because that's like one of the most one of the expansions of the game that's like people are torn over that one. But okay, all right, that's
It is an amazing expansion.
so I love Stormblood personally.
Perfect.
I understand the problems with it, but it was a great expansion in my opinion. He released a remix of Measure of His Reach, the theme song that gets appropriated by the Garlean Empire early in the game, and which you hear in the ending sung by the people of the land who you just helped free. It's a really powerful sequence, and for Darksword, for Sharik, that really hit home for him because that tied into a lot of the feelings of British colonialization of India. So he made a remix thinking of all that. That combined with the birth of his newborn son just had him like in a mental mood, and he just popped out this amazing
very
piece
good.
of work. So that's on the site right now. It's like the only Final Fantasy XIV mix on the site, which
Okay.
is a travesty. We need to fix that.
Yeah, definitely.
But that
We
is
need to fix that.
that is
Got
one of
any
my
ideas?
absolute favorites.
Get them posted.
Yeah,
There's
definitely need to.
On the Time Shift album, there's a 14 remix that's in the works. So
good.
you'll have to check out the album when it's out.
Yeah, my favorite. I'm gonna run it back a little bit. Forest Birdcussion by Protricity from Donkey Kong Country 2, arranging Forest Interlude. I love sampling in my own music. I like sampling nature sounds, and so the idea of birdcussion. When I think I was probably in 6th or 7th grade when I heard that song, and I had it on my iPod, and I'm like, this is the coolest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Nice.
Like using bird noises as a percussive element that goes through the song, and of course Donkey Kong Country 2 is just a banger soundtrack. So
Yeah.
that one has stuck with me. I still listen to that like 20 years on. Like
Awesome.
So I put together the slideshow with a little bit of help from everyone else, but I did most of the work, and I did the game, the Name That Tune game, and I put my favorite in there. It was the Beneath the Surface by Vigilante from Donkey Kong Country, specifically the Kong in Concert album. So
That is awesome.
That is-
it's a banger.
it's on my Mount Rushmore.
Relics of the Chozo, I think was the first one.
Yeah.
All right. I actually have to kind of swing between two of them. One of them is actually a Final Fantasy IV remix. I believe it's the four elemental song, particularly because it was featured in Final Fantasy XIV later.
Okay.
It actually was posted on Overclocked Remix 10 years ago. It's the fight with Rubicon
Okay.
from Haydn.
Yeah.
Yes, that actually is almost note for note, except the lyrics are much funnier on Overclock Remix. He composed it on his own, and then he submitted it to us, and we published it. But actually, my actual favorite one is from Final Fantasy VIII. It's Everything Equals Nothing from Sephiroth.
Ooh.
It is a remix of Compression of Time, and it's a really good remix of it, actually.
Okay.
So it helps that it's one of my favorite sources from the series. So I'm a little biased.
I can't really pick a favorite, but anything that's like a well executed like EDM thing for me, because I'm the EDM guy, is gonna really hit hard. So thinking like Motor Crazy Cycle from the Final Fantasy VII album, or IR Type by Instant Remedy, or anything Blind has posted on the site, particularly from the Final Fantasy VII album. He just like absolutely went hard on that one.
Yeah.
With the collab with Lefos in particular.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm just like there's so many bangers on the site at this point that it's I can't pick a favorite, but those are up there for me.
That's absolutely
Yeah, nice.
4,700 bangers.
We managed to give 3 Final Fantasy answers and 2 Donkey Kong
Yeah,
answers.
there you go. That is some real Overclock remix energy right there. So it's 3 o'clock. We should go ahead and close up shop. Thank you everybody for coming. This was fantastic.
Thank
Really
you all
appreciate
so
it.
much. Y'all are awesome.
If you do have more questions, please join the Discord or find us outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can talk to us anytime while we're at MAGFest.
And come see
Thank
Toho,
you for
Don
coming,
Mafia Maze,
everybody.
and the Indie
Thank you
Game.
so much.
Thank y'all.